never intended to declare my love to an alien monarch. Not while trapped aboard her bioengineered star citadel, not while surrounded by soldiers who looked like walking obsidian sculptures, and especially not while standing trial for interference with a sovereign's destiny. But if the cosmos has taught me one truth, it's this. Accidents happen at the speed of light. I had been a xenolinguist for 12 years. Human governments hired me to decode transmissions, negotiate treaties, or patch up misunderstandings before they became wars. So when the first contact with the Veshtari Empire spiraled into chaos, our ambassadors detained, our ships escorted into quarantine, I was the one Earth sent. The Veshtari were overwhelming. 8 feet tall, bioluminescent markings, voices that resonated not only through the air but through the bones. They moved with the grace of ideas, not bodies. And reigning over them was Queen Serelith, towering, radiant, terrifying, magnificent. Her long sensory crests glowed like twilight auroras. Her eyes, faceted violet, seemed able to slice into thought itself. She also happened to believe, quite firmly, that humanity had stolen her future mate. That misunderstanding was my fault. In the first data packets the Veshtari had broadcast, there were phrases I mistranslated. Their word Velsheri could mean alliance partner, life-bonded mate, or apparently, cosmic equal destined through ancestral prophecy. We replied by cheerfully announcing we'd be delighted to be their new, equal partners. The Queen interpreted that as Earth confidently declaring, "We accept your proposal of eternal union with our chosen human." We didn't know they had a prophecy. She didn't know our language was chaotic nonsense. And so the stage was set for interstellar disaster. Which brings me to the moment I stood restrained before her throne of living crystal, the eyes of an entire empire pressing against my spine. Her voice rolled over the chamber. "Speak, human. You alone understand our tongue. Explain why you denied the bond we offered." "My queen," I said, because addressing her as anything else made her guards grip their weapons. "There was never a denial. Only confusion. Our languages differ. Our intentions never meant to reject me." Her sensory crests tightened, the Veshtari equivalent of a frown. I swallowed. "No. Never." She stepped closer, each movement like the ripple of a comet's tail. "Then why did you resist contact? Why did your ship flee our invitation? Why did you hide your emotional signature?" I took a slow breath. "Because we didn't know what you wanted. Because your invitation involved boarding our ship, surrounding us with armed escorts, and announcing we were to be judged for violating a prophecy we didn't know existed." The chamber trembled with a low, resonant murmur, the Veshtari version of gossiping whispers. Queen studied me, then dismissed everyone else with a single flick of her crest. The guards departed. The massive doors sealed shut. She and I stood alone in a cathedral of starlight, the walls pulsing with the heartbeat of a living ship. "Human," she said softly, "tell me truth. You feel nothing of the call." "What call?" "The resonance. The pull that binds matched souls. When I look at you, the signal thrums through me." She touched her chest, where a cluster of luminescent patterns shimmered. "Oh stars," I thought. "She thinks I'm her soulmate." I rubbed my face. "Your Majesty, humans don't have resonance. We don't sense souls. We barely sense our own emotions half the time." Her pupils expanded. "Is it possible you do not recognize the bond yet?" "It's possible I don't recognize a lot of things," I muttered. But she heard the humor in my voice. Her crest flickered with amusement, the Veshtari version of a laugh. Over the next hours she questioned me, not interrogating, but genuinely trying to understand humanity's frustrating tendency to not feel cosmic destiny vibrations. In turn, I learned fragments about her. She'd risen to the throne young, inherited a fractured empire, and spent her life torn between duty and ancient myths. Her people believed she would one day meet a being whose frequency harmonized perfectly with hers. It would bring unity to their people. She was willing, eager, to believe I was that being. And the more she spoke, the less monstrous she seemed. When she wasn't commanding armies, Serelith was curious, sharp-witted, almost playful. She asked me about oceans, birds, chocolate, rainfall. She marveled at the concept of music without bioluminescent accompaniment. She wanted to know what it felt like to be small compared to every species you met, because, to her, everything else in the galaxy was small. Hours turned into days. She allowed me to roam sections of the Citadel, her guards escorting me like an honored guest rather than a prisoner. She joined me frequently, claiming she needed to observe human habits. We ate together, she with gracefully unfurling mandibles, me pretending not to notice. We debated philosophy. We argued about the ethics of empire. And sometimes I'd catch her looking at me like I was a puzzle she dearly wanted to solve. But the bond she believed in. I didn't feel anything, at first. It was on the 7th day that it happened. We'd been walking along the observation corridor where the ship's outer membrane thinned to transparency. The view was breathtaking, nebulae swirling in blues and golds. Serelith paused beside me, her silhouette outlined by cosmic fire. "Human," she murmured. "You stare at the stars with longing. Why? They make me feel." I searched for the word. Small, but hopeful. Like no matter how messy things get down there, the universe keeps going. "That is lonely," she said gently. "Hope without connection." I glanced at her. "Is that what your resonance is? Connection. It is recognition. Completion. Peace. And you think I could give you that?" She tilted her head. "I feel it already." Her honesty hit me harder than any weapon could. Because in those 7 days, I'd seen beneath her crown and armor. I'd glimpsed the loneliness she hid behind duty and prophecy. I'd felt something too. Not cosmic humming, not destined frequency, but a gravitational pull of understanding. Two people from different galaxies, both tired of being misunderstood. "So tell me, human," she said softly, "if connection for your kind is not resonance, what is it?" Her eyes held mine, and I answered without thinking. "It's love." The word slipped free like a dropped stone. Her crest froze. My brain caught up 3 seconds too late. "No, wait. I didn't mean, I wasn't saying I." But the damage was done. The great Queen Serelith stepped closer, her bioluminescence deepening to a luminous rose. She leaned down, her breath cool and scented like alien blossoms. "You love me," she whispered. My soul fled my body. "No. Yes. Not like that. I was defining a concept." Her lips curved, not quite human but unmistakably a smile. She leaned in, voice barely audible, a breath against my ear. Finally, I forgot how to inhale. Before I could form a coherent argument against imminent diplomatic catastrophe, she reached out and touched my chest with 2 slender claws, lightly, reverently. "You feel it," she murmured. "You deny, but you feel." I opened my mouth to protest, and nothing came out. Because the truth was dangerously, inconveniently obvious. I did feel something. Maybe not destiny. Maybe not cosmic resonance. But something. We stood in silence, suspended between galaxies and assumptions. Then she withdrew her hand and straightened, regal once more but glowing with unmistakable triumph. "Human," she declared. "You will not be a prisoner here any longer." "Oh, good." I said weakly. You will be my liaison, my advisor, my companion. That sounds more involved. And, she added, tail flicking with satisfaction, should you choose it, my bond partner. Choose. I actually get to choose. She nodded. Love without choice is not love. Even we understand that. The Veshtari Empire released our ships. Trade negotiations resumed. War evaporated like mist under sunlight. As for me, well, I remained aboard the Star Citadel, traveling between sectors with a queen who swore she'd heard the universe whisper my name long before we met. She never pressured, never demanded. She simply existed beside me with steady patience, letting understanding grow like a seed seeking light. Weeks passed. Our conversations deepened. Our silences grew comfortable. And one night, beneath twin moons on the Citadel's Arboretum balcony, I finally admitted, to her and to myself, maybe I do love you. Her crests flared with a brilliance I'd never seen. And she whispered, just as she had on the day everything changed. Finally. This time I didn't forget to breathe. I just breathed with her,